Who keeps fucking retweeting titties on my goddamn timeline?
Not me.
Swan.
Literally everyone.
It's always Swan. Come on.
It's like it's like always gonna be one of two people. I'm
feel like I
like,
should
y'all are
follow
lucky
Swan,
that I like the rest of your posts. Hello and welcome to the YASEcast. This is episode 8. I'm Lamo, still. With me today, a smaller crew than last time, but a good crew nonetheless. Stay with me, I got Velius.
What's up?
And I got Morgan.
Hi.
Welcome to, we are officially now in the new millennium. Welcome. I'm so glad that y'all could be here. Man, bring me back to the original podcast crew. I'm pretty happy about that.
This is OG days right now.
It really is. I was trying to think of like... Oh, go ahead.
It was a trip down memory lane all like 6-7 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Such long times ago. And then, well, all episode zeros, too. The multiple episode zeros.
Yeah, we had like 3
dang.
test episodes before episode 0 even happened.
Yeah.
And if you subscribe to our Patreon, you might get to hear them eventually.
The super secret Patreon that...
The super secret Patreon episode.
None of us have the link to it, but it's
also,
there.
it's so secret we haven't made it yet.
You have to subscribe to 3 different Patreons at a $1 tier, and then the secret won't be unlocked.
It's an augmented reality game.
Yeah, it's an ARG.
It's an ARG.
Yeah.
Find the Patreon.
We got the guys who did fucking I Love Bees. They're in on it. We also got I think no, they're not the same team that did the 9 Inch Nails one, but they're in on it too. There's multiple ARGs you have to solve. Figure it out. And then you can eventually it leads to a warehouse where we're gonna do a live taping of the podcast, and like that's it. It's pretty low energy, all things considered. It's just gonna be us sitting at a table and talking.
It's going to be great. And then people can give us money.
Yeah, there'll be Capri Suns on the table. You can have a couple as like a thank you for coming out.
No more than 3.
No more. Yeah, come on. Don't be fucking. Don't be a
don't
hog.
be greedy.
Yeah, assholes. Anyway,
That was an
I
intro.
originally came up with this whole. Yeah, right. Originally had this whole like trying to follow off the theme of last week, which was what's different grooves for Will Smith. I was gonna do what's the final boss and also the secret final boss of the FGC, but you don't know. Let's actually go back to that one. Yeah. So what would you say?
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I was like, nah, we'll save that for next week. But now I said it, so that would give you guys time to prepare. So I can't do that anymore. So what would the final boss and the secret final boss of the FGC be?
Final boss is people you follow that retweet hentai. But they're good people, and you don't want to turn off their retweets because sometimes they're useful. The secret final boss is people or I guess in general, not just people, but it's Twitter snitching on people's likes. Because you can't mute that. That's the unblockable.
Okay, I like that. For me personally, going off that one, I heard the final boss would be your homie who retweets a lot of lewds. I'm like, oh, that would be the rival fight right before the final boss. To me, that's where that would go. Because I like that idea way too much. It's like, oh, this is my homie, but I gotta beat the shit out of you real quick.
My guy, you don't have to do this. You can make another account.
You can make a not safe for work.
Yeah. Velius, what about you? What do you got? What's your FGC final boss and secret final boss?
Somehow the final boss is Justin Wong's tier lists, and the secret final boss is Mike Z. Just Mike Z.
Ooh. Just Mike Z. Okay. I like it. Listen, you just be stronger than them. Then you go chill off to the side, and you don't go seeking out the fight. You just chill. You just be strong and chill. That's the secret final boss tech.
We added this feature to Skullgirls already.
All right, my FGC final boss would probably be. Oh no, that's too closely. I have my secret final boss like on lock.
All right.
On lock. My FGC final boss is going to be people. Ooh, that looks fun. It's going to be people who say, who ask like, why rollback? Like, we don't need rollback. The net code is fine. Like, delay based is fine. You don't need rollback. The secret final boss are accounts that have not tweeted anything in years, but they're constantly replying to people and harassing people and like being like, oh well, I don't see why you have to complain. Why are you such a beta cuck? Like dumb shit like that. That's secret final boss. Mostly because sometimes I want to beat the shit out of them.
We need to start streaming this. That was a good pose.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Oh, that is actually the. I wish that boss was more secret sometimes.
That boss should be so secret that
So secret, just
no
like
one,
it's never found.
yeah, and that no one ever knows about them. They never make themselves like known or say anything publicly. There's in a bomb shelter 50 miles under the Earth's crust. I don't know if that puts them in the core of the Earth. I don't know.
In the center of the planet, in a bomb shelter.
Yes.
With only a Wi-Fi connection.
Just gotta yeet them into the sun.
But they played right next to the router, though.
So it's fine.
They're sitting right next to the router when they play. So it's
Real
fine.
dog, I'm right next to the router. It's just like wired, I swear.
Oh, gosh. All right, let's get into it. Velius, what have you been doing last week? What you watching, playing, etc.ing?
So, my birthday was last week, so I went on a bit of a movie binge, and I think, the most recent thing that I watched was The Lighthouse, which, if you haven't seen it, is a fucking fantastic movie, and easily, like, top 10 of the best from 2019, like, not even trying. And I mean, it's also kind of funny because now it's relevant again since Robert Pattinson is blessing our timelines with this most recent meme. Then, of course, it's just more CVS 2. Just been playing more of it. Then that and Marvel 2 as well, because the boy Master Who has been just on Null DC to he helped me set up Null DC, and then we just started running sets because he's the boy, of course.
He is the absolute lad. Hands down.
Absolute boy.
So it's just been...
May he return to the pod.
He needs to
next
come back
week.
to the pod.
I think it's his,
next week.
I think it's his finals week.
He's got finals right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we need to have a celebratory, you're done with finals, podcast appearance for him.
Now let's run some fucking sets.
It's run the sets. Your Marvel 2.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
I'm just honestly enjoying Marvel 2 than I even did like when I played it casually, like with friends back in the day. I think part of it is just that like since I started playing more fighting games, like at least attempting to be vaguely competitive, like now I'm more used to the chaos of Marvel games. So a lot of it has been like, you know, and also I'm obviously not taking it at a high level. So me and Red have just been playing characters that we like, and fuck Team Synergy. It's for fun. So, you know, like I think the strongest team I had was running Cable, Iron Man, and then Cyclops, because why not? Like all Marvel team. And he hit me up
pretty
with
good.
that.
All beams.
It's still a pretty good team.
All beams.
Literally a team, a dream and a team and a beam.
There you go. That's all you need in this world.
That's literally all you need.
That was my team comp philosophy, and I lived the beam. Not
There you
like not the actual, you know, like beam lifestyle. That's a Letterkenny joke right there.
What's Cable's real name? Is it Jack?
Nathan Summers?
No, it's Nathan Summers.
No, Nathan.
Nathan? Shit. Because part of me was like, I could call your fucking team Jack and the Beanstalk. But it doesn't quite work because his name is not. No one's name there is Jack.
There's nothing stopping that.
That's
and
true.
it's
I
still
guess
really
if
good.
your name was Jack, you could do that.
I have
You still just legally
that's
change
not.
your name.
no
It's for
Jack in
Marvel
my
too.
name.
Damn.
But you know,
The,
Lip Moss.
Listen, just change your name. Listen, any Jacks out there? If there's any Jacks right now that are listening to the podcast, fucking steal the shit out of this team and that team.
Don't
name.
give the Twitter CEO ideas.
But
He's listening.
But you got to PayPal me like $5, because that shit is my idea and I have trademarked it. All right, cool. We're back.
But when are we getting our?
That's gonna make it through editing.
When are we getting our Taco Bell sponsorship? I say Live Moss at least once
That's what I'm
every
fucking talking
podcast.
about. We got to get the Baja Blast sponsor.
Want to be rolling in fucking bean burritos over here.
Oh, I just want to fill up like a kiddie pool with Baja Blast. That would get so gross after like 20 minutes.
Yeah, like why would you do that?
Listen,
At
it's
all.
just for aesthetics, really. It's that perfect color.
Didn't you cook NyQuil chicken?
No, that wasn't me. I did not cook NyQuil chicken.
Was it a different sleeping medication?
No, I did not use any medications in any of my culinary adventures.
Didn't you do Kool-Aid chicken? Is what I thought it was.
Yes.
Was it was Kool-Aid chicken? That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Got to distribute
One
that
of them
to the gamer
didn't taste
camp.
bad. Like one of the fruit punch one, like kind of slapped a little.
You made fruit punch chicken, like.
No,
You
no,
don't
it
get
was
to talk
Kool-Aid
I guess you-
chicken. There was also grape. Grape was a nightmare. The grape one, legitimately looks horrifying. Hold up, I might have pictures of this on my computer.
Don't show them. It's a podcast.
Yeah, but your reaction, I probably don't have it actually. I probably deleted it for safety.
Safety.
Yeah, I said what I
safety?
said for a reason. Hold up, might be on my phone.
I gotta
Morgan, what were you
prosecute,
doing? I'm gonna keep looking for this nightmare chicken. But Morgan, what have you been up to this past week?
What have I been up to this past week? All right. I'm starting. I had to decide on a new job, so there hasn't been like a lot of time for media and stuff, just because there's the stress of having to like weigh short-term, long-term options and all that, major life decisions and everything. But I did find time to watch a 13-episode anime that I can't decide if I like or not.
Ooh.
And yeah, there's 5 total seasons, and they're all 13 episodes, so like I'll probably chuck through them at some point. But I started watching Symphogear, which is hard to describe. Basically, it's like a weird mix of super robot tropes, idol anime tropes, slice of life tropes, and magical girl tropes. In kind of the same way of if you've ever watched Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoa, where it's basically like we're just going to make a Gundam series, but instead of Gundams, it's magical girls. So like they launch them out of the ship and everything too, so it's kind of the same thing of like a weird sort of genre bending thing. So, but in this case, they have to sing, and the singing gives them suits that are basically turns them into super robots. And there are bits of it that are cool. There are bits of it that are not. There's one thing that really bugs me is that they took a character, and this is a thing that I talked to one of our chief financial officer, Mr. Yusuk, about over the weekend, and maybe this is just more common in anime than I've realized in over the years, but like taking characters and really trivializing like sexual violence and like sexual trauma. So it's kind of implied in the show that this character has like a really like rough history, and she's also the character in like the most revealing outfit and with the most fan service, in a way that made me feel like not great about it. And I was doing like a group watch with people, and we were all like, "Yeah, that's like not good." So that's kind of the bummer. And on a more positive note, I got really into horror YouTube. So I was mentioning like getting into more horror film last time, and this was more like the conspiracy theory, like augmented reality game kind of side of YouTube of just like we're gonna break down an ARG, and like some of the stuff is wild that people have put out there over the years, and like the intricacy of the puzzles and everything. It blew my mind, and I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
That how people work together to solve this stuff.
Some of that shit is absolutely nuts. Like I know Bungie has done more than a few, honestly, for Destiny at this point, which I used to follow like super, super heavily. And they've all been like really fucking involved and intense to the point where one of them was like, hey, we've half buried like a supply cache in like a forest somewhere. It's like eventually they found the GPS coordinates to go get it. And inside was like a fucking spear. Like that was like
What?
the end of it. Yeah. Yeah.
just you got a spear?
I mean, it was like a fun, like futuristic looking spear thing after something in game, but yeah,
That's wild.
maybe it wasn't
I mean,
buried. I think it was like leaning up against like a leaning inside of like an almost hollowed out tree. But yeah,
That's actually really cool. The a lot of these just are so, like one that I thought was really cool was the was like cicada something something something.
That
I'm blanking
sounds
on the
familiar.
number sequence, but like the intricacy of the puzzles was basically like you had to solve, like the puzzle leads you to a book, and the book has a code that has to be deciphered, and then as you work through that, it leads to like something else, and then yeah, it was just it blew my mind, and like you get so pulled into like the drama of it because I feel like it's real life cryptography and like
Yeah.
and code breaking.
it's super
and all
fucking
that. So, like,
cool.
yeah, and when you watch it in like a YouTube video format, it feels like like reading a spy novel. Of like, oh shit, like and these people go on like, and what did they get? They got a cool spear at the end. It's like, wow, that was anticlimactic.
Oh, I found a picture of it. It's pretty fucking rad. I'm putting it in.
It better be. If
Putting it
was,
in the
like,
media channel. It's not the biggest
Alright.
picture, which I'm actually upset about, but whatever.
All right, I want to see it anyway. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That actually looks dope.
Right?
Okay, I would. That's kind of worth it, actually.
I'm kind of upset that it's like, here's a picture and it's like 350 by 466. I'm like, man, come on. Y'all gotta be having something better.
That kind of reminds
You
me.
can do better. Come on.
Kind of reminds me of like Urban Explorer YouTube. Just people uploading, going through abandoned properties that have just been sitting there for
Yeah.
years. And it's
I
like
fucking
dark
love that
out,
shit.
and it's also like horrifying because it's like they uploaded it, so clearly they're alive. But at the same time, the entire time you're sitting there, just like, are they gonna survive this? Like, I fucking wouldn't.
There's a really fucking cool one I saw like maybe a month or so ago where it was a bunch of Russian guys going to Chernobyl and like they bribed one of the guards there for like some information and kind of like, hey, like we'll be really quiet and not gonna fuck with anything, just let us get in and stuff. And they found out like, oh hey, this transformer is still like carrying like power and electricity. So they fucking rerouted power from it to actually like provide electricity to one of the apartments inside one of the building, and like they turned the lights on and like the stove on and shit. It was fucking wild. And they're like, haha, we'll cook something now. And it's like, y'all are batshit crazy. But I'm kind of fucking loving it. Like super
That's the
fucking
plot of a
cool.
stalker,
Pretty much.
basically.
But yeah, I absolutely love that kind of like urban exploration stuff. I know there's been a bunch too of like in New York going to like old or abandoned like subway tunnels that like don't have any trains like routed to them before. Whole bunch of really cool stuff like that. I absolutely love it.
I just want to shout
You know,
out
but
shout out my favorite one is definitely Dan Bell, who did his whole Dead Mall series. That
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's like one of the bigger names on it because he goes to just all these dead malls where there's like no one shopping there and they're somehow just still just sitting there. It's just
Did
it's
you,
just so fucking weird.
Did you see their video on the Cincinnati Mall where Arcade Legacy is at?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
about to bring up Arcade
Yeah.
Legacy.
The best thing about it is if you look at the thumbnail for that video, you see the little like gazebo indoors where they would have like grand finals and shit for at Mackay. So I was scrolling through YouTube one day and just saw that thumbnail. I'm like, wait a minute, I know where this is. I've seen pictures and video of this place. I'm like, oh hell yeah! And then I watch it and then like they do like a whole big walkthrough of Arcade Legacy. It's super cool. Like I was very surprised to see that, but also not surprised because yeah, that's one dead ass mall aside from Arcade Legacy. It's the only thing in there that's like still going.
That's so weird. And there's like, I don't want to get into be a downer, so I'm going to pivot to something more wholesome. But it's also like amusement parks are kind of in that same boat of like these massive structures are hugely expensive to build, they're hugely expensive to tear down.
Yeah.
So they just kind of go to seed. And like another series that I got into because the third season I guess started happening recently is Defunct Land, which is basically
Defunct
again
Land
video
is
essays about the history of rides and amusement parks and sort of where they come from, the industry that supports them, and also like accidents that happen and things that bring them down. So that's basically where I've been watching YouTube on my couch and stuff. So beyond that, it's been basically just a really stressful week.
Yeah. Defunct Land's real fucking good too.
It's really good.
So they're like, obviously I've watched a whole bunch there, but they have one video that's very near and dear to my heart. They did a video on Action Park, which was...
Oh yeah, it's a good one. I showed my partner that one.
Yeah, I grew up like 20-30 minutes from there.
Did you ever go to Action Park?
I went there when it was called Mountain Creek. And really fun. I loved it. Had a great time.
Did you die?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm here.
I mean, I've also been on that horror thing. You could be a ghost.
I mean, you can't die there
man.
while it's called Mountain Creek. Only when it's called Action Park. When it's Mountain Creek, it's safe mode. But if you go when it's Action Park, then it's full moon is out. There's Draculas and shit everywhere inside of all the water slides.
Is that when it activates max mode?
Yes, exactly.
That's Danger Time.
Yeah. I forgot Danger Time existed. Holy crap.
That's an unfortunate reminder.
There's
I
so
spent
much.
a good portion of,
There's so much I love about Guilty Gear Xrd, but
and then you hit Danger Time.
But
and
Danger
you're like,
Time
oh, fuck.
and Alpha are the two worst parts of it.
I disagree with one of those, but
All right, fine. We can keep Danger Time and Strive.
woo, woo. It's a spicy take.
But that already... like,
I also spent.
I only have the spiciest.
already have like some of the most ridiculous damage output in Strive. You want to put Danger Time on top of that? Oh, good lord!
Just every hit's like,
You actually die in one hit.
Yeah. You won't even need one.
Yo, soul hit me on it.
Won't even need one hit like touch of death combos. You'll just have Danger Time. Oh, here comes this soul does one fucking standing heavy. There you go. You're dead.
It's a 100% combo with no meter.
Jesus.
Jesus
I'm down with
Christ.
that. I'm down with that game. I love Dive Kick. I won money in that game.
Hell yeah. God, there was only one time I ever saw a dive kick tournament, and it was at my school when I was going to college. I was like, all right, fine, I'll enter this. Why not? I played Jafali, or whatever his name was in there.
It's Shafali.
And they had like the laptop hooked up to a TV. I'm like, oh, the TV's like a decent amount. Well, not decent, but like it's just enough lag to where I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to react to shit on there. Someone's looking down at this laptop that runs the TV, and I'm just like, yep. And I will just drop kick you all into oblivion, which I did. It's a good time.
Yeah, did you win money though?
Yeah, it was a GameStop gift card for like $20.
Did you beat Justin Wong?
Not there, but I did beat Justin Wong once.
Wow, we both have beat Justin Wong once.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mine's on video and shit and everything. I can prove that crap.
I can't actually. My unfortunately it was off stream, but I played again. It went to Evo, also known as Evolution, for probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, dive kick tournaments. That was like the pre-release one, or like so it was like close enough. Everyone was hyped. People kind of knew how the game worked.
Oh, I'm stupid as fuck. I wasn't talking about dive kick. But sorry, go on with your story. I just realized.
Oh, it's fine. Like if you beat Justin Wong, it counts. But the so the Iron Galaxy people really went out for that game, right?
Yeah.
If you went to an event, and so they had like the fraud stamps for people's hands, and on the stream setup they had the siren, right? And someone was about to.
Oh my god!
And they brought all that to Evo. So I was playing against my dear friend Freak of Freak Mods. I had put him in losers beforehand. It's now I'm about to double jeopardy this man. I'm gonna fraud him. So the light and the siren go off, and you can see me on stream get his attention, like snapping, and then point at the light. And then I almost choked, which only happens if you get to fraud and then lose.
Oh my god!
So he won the next 4 matches after that, and then I barely beat him. Made like $200 something that weekend. And then found him looking sad at the bar and bought him a beer with the money that I literally took out of his hands by double jeopardying him right before the pay cut.
Oh my god, that's so fucking good. That was such a good ass game. Holy crap! There was just so much. There was so much love in there. Like,
the references were all really good.
I forgot about the choke. That's so good.
Choke was so good, and it was like there was a zeitgeist when Dive Kick was coming out,
Yeah.
and like it was fun on net play and everything. But like playing that game with another person, and like especially around other people, like this guy's about to get frauded.
Yeah. It's one of those
And,
games where you can just get like really hype and do a lot of like dumb shit talk. It's perfect
for
for it. Yeah.
It's perfect for it. And then you had if you got the stamp and you got frauded and you had the fraud stamp at the event, like you felt like a lesser person.
Jesus.
Like you didn't want to play other games because you like someone's gonna see that in the back of your hand and be like, "Oh, you got frauded in Dive Kick." It's like I'm waking up with a DP here. You're not blocking.
I feel like Dive Kick almost falls into the same category of crowd hype as like Sailor Moon S. You know?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon S it's fun until grand finals and it's Uranus versus Uranus, and it's just like the winner is who drops the infinite the least.
Yeah.
Jab, jab, dash, jab, jab, dash, jab, jab, dash.
Or it's Chibiusa and they get 2 hits and just backdash the rest of the fucking round because they can't get hit.
Sailor Moon S is a good game.
I'm so happy that it exists. I will probably never play it, but I am so happy that it exists.
You should play it. It's a good game.
No, I'm good. I'll play it solo, but I will not enter a tournament or play other people on that. Hell no. That's a bad time. I will tell you what I will enter though. How about that segue?
Okay.
I've been playing 2 fighting games, pretty obscure. 2 3v3 fighting games. The first one is King of Fighters 98. I'm not sure if you all heard of it.
That is not an obscure game. Fuck you. Fucking see my Daimon.
The aggressiveness.
And Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Another one. It's a little hard to find, but it's a bit of a underrated gem.
So obscure. We talked about it at the beginning.
Yeah, no. I committed to the bit before we started recording, and I told myself that we were going to go through with it.
I respect it. You did it.
Thank you.
You did it.
So yeah, KOF 98 and Marvel 2. I'll talk about Marvel 2 first, because it's kind of a game that I never really played, but I'd messed around with a tiny bit, and got to, let's see. I lost my train of thought completely. Fuck. Marvel 2. There we go. I'm back, y'all. Anyway, Marvel 2 is a game I kind of dabbled a little bit with, but I never really fell in and never really started playing other people in. When stuff came out earlier, or rather late last week or over the weekend, about Null DC emulator, getting Naomi support, and the netcode and everything else, and then especially like, oh hey, if you download it, it has like all the games in there already. Master Who and I set that up over the weekend, and we played a little bit of CVS 2, and then a bunch of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I kind of fell back in love with how much I really like that game and how much fun it is just like fuck around and mess with team comp and try to open people up and shit. To the point where yesterday on my lunch break, I was like, I'm just going to drive home and play Marvel 2. And then I drove home and I played Marvel 2 on my lunch break, and it fucking ruled. So my team right now is Rogue on Point, and then Doctor Doom and Sentinel. So Doctor Doom does the anti-air assist, so he can pretty much trap people in place, and then Rogue can get in, do what she has to do, mix people up, go for the grab, etc. Sentinel, because he's big, he has an armored assist, and he's fucking Sentinel, so...
Sentinel's one of the best characters in the whole game, so...
Yeah, he's great. He's a big fucking robot, and he's got lasers and fucking... throws fists at people. He's fantastic. But yeah, I'm hoping to actually put a little bit of time into the game this time around, because like I said, I never really gave it the time I probably should have. But now that, like, I mean, and it kind of feels weird to say this, but now that I have experienced more with anime, the game makes a lot more sense. As far as how I want to structure some of my offense, what I want to look out for on defense and everything else. And especially just the way that you need to move in that game. Like, there's a 2-button dash that you can do and stuff like that, and being able to see how I want to fit the pieces together in order to make a coherent and threatening offense, it's a lot more interesting now that I have a better idea and understanding of those mechanics and have already applied them elsewhere. KOF is honestly something I'm surprised I never got into more, especially because with how much I like older games, especially Super Turbo. I think it's just one of those games where I probably never played it because I was like, fuck, I need to choose 3 characters. I'd have to learn 3 characters in order to be able to play this game. And then I was like, fuck that, man. That's way too much. I'm not doing it. But I'm also finally kind of giving that game its time and trying to figure out a roster. Well, a team, I should say. The entire roster is just like, it's not that it's big. It's okay. It's actually pretty decently big. It's like at least got to be like 30 or 40 characters now that I think about
It's
it.
sizable in 98.
What's that?
It's sizable in 98.
It's.
I mean, it's how the KOF games usually are.
Yeah, but which is kind of wild if you think about it. Like, to have that many characters in a fighting game, 22 years ago, and that's not even talking about like KOF 97 or, God, what wasn't there a KOF 94 even?
Yes.
I think there was a 94.
Yeah, like I don't know how many characters are in it, but still, like, it's so much for its time, and it's kind of a shame that it never caught on more with the American audience. But whatever, that's a whole other podcast altogether. So yeah,
it's a good game.
Still trying to put together a team in there. Right now, it's literally just, okay, it's Benimaru and then who the fuck else? Because Benimaru, I fucking love playing that boy. He is great. I love my good friend Jean-Pierre Polnareff in SNK land.
Do you want me to pick the other 2 characters for you right now and you'll be happy?
I could play Chris, yeah. Were you going to say Chris? Because I should probably just play
No, I
Chris.
was going to say Iori and Daimon.
Daimon I've heard is really good, but I also heard that his execution's kind of hard.
Yeah, but also he's Daimon. And like you have to be like, I'm playing Daimon. I'm playing one third. You were playing 2/3 of the Getter RoboCast at that point.
Damn. I mean,
Iori is always a staple.
Iori's always good, is what I've heard. He's never an unsafe pick. He kind of does, from what I was reading, he kind of does everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe Benimaru, Iori, and Chris. Who knows? But yeah, I'm enjoying both games a whole fucking lot right now. Aside from what I've been playing though, I've been getting into another different YouTube wormhole, rabbit hole, whatever the hell you want to call it. I've been getting really into skateboarding videos on YouTube lately. This is something it's kind of a recurring theme in the Yace Discord. Dave will post like a skateboarding video and he'll like tag a couple people, and it's like, shit, this is real fucking cool. Like a couple weeks ago, he posted a video. It's just someone's skate video, but the guy's wearing Timbs the entire time. He's doing all these tricks wearing fucking Timbs, and it's kind of cool as shit. And that has sent me down a whole thing where there's like a video series about all these like legendary like older skate spots and how like they became like the central things, and it's like the people who they do a lot of the not recordings for, they do a lot of the filming with, a lot of times they are people who are either other skaters or people who made videos for other skaters, or they were photographers for magazines. So there's a lot of like them talking about like, oh, I remember when so and so did this trick over here, blah blah blah, and then like they'll have like footage of that from like the 90s or early 2000s, and it's super 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 cool for the format for the videos. One of them that I like a lot is, I cannot remember the guy's name, but he revisits a spot where he jumped across jumped from one water tower to another, and it was a 14-foot gap between the two.
That's terrifying.
And so they have like, it made like the cover of a magazine, so they have like the picture there like once they get to the spot, so you can like see like, oh yeah, fuck, this is the place. And then they show up, and it's like they're like, oh yeah, this is the spot, and they talk to the guard, and they're like, hey, we just want to get in and try and measure the gap. The urban legend is that someone had, on a skateboard jumped between the two water towers up there, and it's like, no, sorry guys, blah blah. They talk and they're joking around, like ha ha. And so like, all right, we came back in 5 minutes. We don't see the guard, so we're jumping the fence. And then they literally just jump the fence, go in, they get the measuring tape, and like, yeah, wow, fuck, it's 14 feet. And then they just like haul ass out of there. And I'm like, this is just so fucking good. Like, everything about it just fucking rules. Yeah, there's a lot of good skate videos out there.
Skate or die.
Yeah, and the best part is like there's so much that's just about the history of the culture and about the locations, about the different scenes that pops up. Really, really, really cool. I think those videos have been on the channel for Jenkem Magazine, which, good lord, that's a fucking channel name. Never thought I'd be saying Jenkem on the podcast, but
maybe we'll get a sponsorship from them now.
I don't want to get a Jenkem sponsorship.
No one wants that. No.
Listen,
I will
love
be gone
y'all's
so
content.
quick.
I love y'all's content. It's so good. But the name... Sorry, I can't. YASEcast, sponsored by Jenkem. No, I can't do that.
Brought to you by Jenkem.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's not. Can we not do that? Like, can we just like make a rule, an agreement? We're not doing that.
Not doing that one. Taco Bell, hit us up though.
Taco Bell, I'm down. Give me the potato taco. Potato taco is real good.
Spicy potato soft taco. Let's fucking do it.
Taco Bell.
Let's fucking go.
Unrelated. Taco Bell and MeUndies. Like, let's separate those two entirely, but we'll take sponsorships from both of them.
Yeah,
Beggars can't be choosers, but I am choosing that we're not getting a Jenkins.
I was actually going to say, too, Thrasher has, the famous skate magazine, Thrasher. They have a whole bunch of really good YouTube content as well. Go check them out. Go check out Jenkem Mag. Yeah, really fucking good skate content. Like, even if you're not a skater, you can just really appreciate the storytelling that's going on and seeing a lot of the older footage and just seeing guys who essentially have spent their entire life being involved in skating, talk with such passion about, different locations or just, times past. So I cannot recommend them enough.
That's my favorite kind of content, honestly. I'm probably going to now check out some skate videos.
Hell yeah.
There's something about like exactly what you just said there where it's like, I kind of like, I get skating. Like I grew up in that period of the 90s where like everyone owned a skateboard and I was never good. Like I could do a kickflip and that was great. But like it's the culture of it and the music of it and the art and the film that came out of it. Like there's like a zeitgeist there and like hearing that oral history, because like you were saying, like there's just like, they're like, oh, legend has it that this guy made this jump at this one point on a skateboard. Like that kind of stuff of just like the myth making that goes along with it is so cool.
It's
then you
so
get
fucking
bands
good.
then you get bands like Teenage Bottle Rocket where they're still singing about like stealing beers and drinking them behind the 7-Eleven, but they're like way into their 30s.
Yeah. But like that's a shit that I fucking love though, because I don't know, it's so good. It's so fucking
It
good.
is like it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's like this shit happened and it was like of a moment where this was like the counterculture was like skateboarding. And like I remember when they went and they had to put at my grade school the bars and everything on all the crap that people were grinding, because that was just like the thing when I was a kid.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I just remembered there's one that I really fucking love, and I just found that I've been looking through like my YouTube history, where there was like this famous so LA High was like a big like LA skate spot. There's one rail in particular that was just like everyone would do grinds and tricks off of, to the point where eventually the school took the rail out. So like, no, like we want to stop people from skateboarding. We're just going to remove the rail altogether. And this was like 15 years ago or so. And these guys who would skate there all the time came back, and it's like, hey, I'm going to go and we're going to like sneak in after hours and get measurements of what we think the rail like would have been. And then so they actually get it made, and they go back and they install it in the school like another night. And they just get like a bunch of dudes, and they're just like on the weekend, and they just go in there, just like fucking skate it up, and it's so goddamn good.
It's so fucking sick.
Right? Like it's the coolest shit. I love it so much.
Like exactly that kind of stuff of just like those stories of just like, yeah, we built a rail so it's just so we could skate it, like, because there's the ingenuity and the craftsmanship and everything that goes along with it too. And I mean, like I think kid my age, I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Which
big
hey,
news today.
Yeah,
Big news today.
Surprise, surprise! Today they announced they're remaking 1 and 2, and they have the most important part of that is they have all the original music for it, which like
that's Digimon the movie soundtrack and the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, especially Tony Hawk 1 and 2, were like formative. I was like a nu metal kid, like an angsty suburban nu metal kid, and then all of a sudden I just heard like Less Than Jake and the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and Goldfinger and Bad Religion and Lagwagon, like all these bands, and it was just like.
Unless you had the N64 version, which
I
like.
didn't. Yeah, thank God I didn't.
God.
I wouldn't be here today.
I'd be
if I
so
had
fucking
the N64.
sad if I got the N64 version of that game.
I'm not even exaggerating. I might not be here today
Damn.
had it not been for Tony Hawk Pro Skater, because like a lot of the music got me into things that got me kind of adjacent to fighting games and all that. So
Yeah.
I mean, like I started
Hey,
listening
Tony
to
Hawk.
Suicidal Tendencies because of Pro Skater 1, you know, and then from there it's
Yeah.
just like punk music, punk fucking
Dead
music.
Kennedys. I mean, Dead Kennedys were so fucking. Hey, you know what, y'all? We like to have a lot of fun here in the podcast, but thanks, Tony. If you're out there listening to the
thank you,
YASEcast,
Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Bless up, Tony.
I want to give a big shout out to my man Tony Hawk.
Can this?
Thanks, Tony.
Are we officially?
We remember you.
Are we officially the band of the Hawk?
Can we? Oh, I wasn't going for that. I was saying we should dedicate this
No, that got
episode to
dark.
Tony Hawk, then have like. I'm just imagining like a picture. It's like thank you, Tony Hawk, and it has like his birth date, and then it's just like it's like 2020. It's like he's still alive. Just it's 2020 right now. Just wanted to say thanks. He's good. He's doing great.
No, he's fine. He seems to be like living his best life, and like this remaster is sick as shit. And also seeing all the people like on my social media world getting hype over that and sharing their stories of how like the music and skate culture and everything impacted them too. Like that's kind of getting back to what you were talking about of how like it's not just the skating, it's like it's the myth making and the culture that is so much bigger than just that.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. So not necessarily Tony Hawk related, but a skating game that I actually played probably more than Tony Hawk 1 on PS1 was Thrasher Skate and Destroy, which also had an incredibly good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Incredibly fucking good soundtrack. I was gushing about the game earlier today in Discord. But it was much more hip-hop centric than anything else. But that's how I first heard A Tribe Called Quest. That's how I first heard, like... God, so they had Awards Order by Tribe in there. And I would literally... So when you load into that game, there's a free skate where you skate around where you got to do your shit in for however long you want. And then you press the button and it's like, okay, now you have 2 minutes to get your scores, everything else, do the objectives you got to do. I would... set the free skate music and like the timed music to Award Tour, and I would literally just skate around for like half an hour listening to that song on repeat.
It's a damn good song.
God, it's so good, right? It's just like it's crazy because I didn't really think about it until today, but that game was definitely my introduction to like hip hop. Like there's so much I fucking heard from that game.
It's just funny because like I have literally in my entire life, I've talked about this in the Discord too, I have never played the Thrasher Skate game, but I had the soundtrack for it. And part of that is I didn't realize it was a soundtrack for a game, you know? Like, I just love the fucking music on it. So, like...
I mean, the game is okay. It's not... It's a little more rough around the edges than Tony Hawk is. It's a pretty... Like, Tony Hawk's a pretty, like, arcadey game, but it's... I like it. But like, damn, though, that's crazy.
And the thing about like especially Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is that like even if you like say you didn't care about, you know, skateboarding at all, like the arcade style gameplay, it was basically like Call of Duty except for skateboarding, because it was very much like arcade. You had points and there was a competitive element to it that like even in other games that came after it, like Skate, you just can't you can't emulate the 1v1 like head on head, you know, like you're going for as many style points as you can get kind of competitiveness that you got out of especially the first 4 Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. Like there's just, you can emulate it. It can never be replicated, but I'm just so happy that this remaster does not look like shit, because after Tony Hawk 5, which we will not discuss.
We don't talk about Tony Hawk 5.
That game doesn't fucking exist. But after that whole thing, so happy that the game looks like it's so good.
Yeah. Seriously, props to whoever got the licensing for the music, because that must have been an absolute nightmare to get. I cannot imagine the hell that must have been. Oh, but yeah, I really
Thank
hope
you
that
for your
turns out good.
service.
Thank you for your service, Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk,
And the
always
music
in our
licensing
hearts.
guy.
He's not dead. He's
They
just
are-
in our hearts.
Yes, and they're both. Tony Hawk is braver than the troops. There, I said it.
Whoa.
Not wrong.
I'm also
Exactly.
I'm looking up all the soundtracks for especially for 1 and 2, and yeah, like just there are so many bands here that I first heard. Like Power Man 5000 is definitely up there.
Oh man,
The Vandals.
The Vandals, Swingin' Utters. This is
I need to look these up.
they're really good. These are really good soundtracks. Like this is. I'm really excited. This was like the good news I needed in 2020. It was that hey, you're gonna be able to play Tony Hawk again.
This is the game that
Yeah.
saved 2020 for us all.
So I got to ask, who's your skater? Who'd you play?
Oh,
I played
don't
everyone. Like
remember.
I didn't bother to
No,
discriminate.
you got. Who is your main? Who do you main in Tony Hawk? Which
Okay.
real person do you main?
So I started out as a Rune Glifberg main because the Christ Air was a really easy super that I remembered really easily. But past that, I moved to Bob Burnquist.
Like,
Fuck, I'm
I
looking
can,
at the
I can
soundtrack
feel
for
Morgan
2.
judging me.
I'm. That's just my normal energy. I'm a person of judgment.
Because I really only
I'm
played,
also a Bob
like,
Burnquist main.
I mean, I
Oh.
only played like Tony Hawk and Bob Burnquist because I didn't really know anyone else.
Maybe that's why how we all came to the base of Yace. We were all drawn here by Bob Burnquist.
It's the battle of the Bobs.
Oh.
We're gonna have to like load this up at some point where all of us just play, and
Yeah.
Parsec.
we need to find the best Burnquist.
The best
The Battle of the
Burnquists.
Burnquists.
Battle of the Burnquists.
Oh god!
Damn,
I'm really here for this.
So I never had 2, but like looking at the soundtrack now, like this is fucking
It's good.
yeah.
It's really good.
fuck, man.
Like just going off that, I mean, "You" is an awesome song. "When Worlds Collide" is good. "Bring the Noise" is on Tony Hawk 2. It's a good list.
Do you think if the reason they didn't release Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on there is because they would have to get the rights to Darth Maul, Wolverine, the Neversoft Eyeball, Doom Guy? There's so many people. Maybe it's
Maybe.
Darth Maul.
I mean, I'd imagine because Down Disney owns them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
like-
I thought you were talking about the developer of Tony Hawk. So I was like, oh, but no, I'm dumb. Okay, what?
No, like some of those are Disney properties. Like I imagine that trying to remaster those games in this day and age is an absolute licensing nightmare. And the fact that they did it is outstanding. I'm hyped for this game, and I'm going to listen to these soundtracks for a little bit here, and I'm going to feel like I am a child again.
You'll be reliving,
Fuck. Okay.
reliving like 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Don't say how long it was.
do not
Don't
not
say
do that. To me. God, I'm looking at the soundtrack now for 3. Had AFI, Alien Ant Farm, CKY, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, House of
Ooh.
Pain, Motorhead,
Ooh.
Ramones, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Redman, Reverend Horton Heat, an Exhibit, like, and of course more, but like, god damn.
These soundtracks for these games were ridiculously good.
They went so hard.
They went,
went
so
so
hard. They did not
hard.
have to go that hard. They did not have
They
to go
did
that
it,
hard,
but
and they
did
did.
it. They did it for
They-
us.
us. Thank you, Tony.
Braver than the troops.
I want to learn to skateboard. There's that one artist whose name I'm blanking on that puts the skateboard maids.
I love that
On my
account
timeline.
so much. I am
It's so
also
fucking
blanking on the
good.
name. That
That's why
account
I bought
fucking
the name.
rules.
I was gonna cosplay skateboard maid at Otakon last year, but the person that I was gonna do it with backed out. It was gonna be sick though, because I like kind of learned how to skateboard again, and we're gonna like find a spot in DC around the convention center
Yo.
in these big French maid outfits and actually try to skate.
That would have fucking ruled.
Yeah, and then she backed out, and I was like, oh fuck,
Ugh.
I can't do this alone.
Mm.
I'm 30.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the list of skaters that went into especially like 1 and 2, and now I'm having memories of like watching videos of Kareem Campbell in my head.
Yeah, holy crap.
I guess I didn't never realize like how big of a personal influence the Tony Hawk series was for me.
It sneaks up on you.
Like, but now that I'm thinking about, yeah, you look back
Yeah.
on it and it's like because that was the gateway, and for like little suburban Morgan to getting involved in like and being exposed to like skate and like Warped Tour culture, and yeah, that's been a hell of a trip. 30 years later, I think about how my taste in music basically hasn't improved.
Well, it can't improve it. I mean, considering it peaked. Like, where do you go from the Tony Hawk soundtracks? Like, nowhere.
Basically nowhere. I mean, I'm still seeing Bad Religion whenever they come to town.
There you go.
And it's like, it's bad because people bring their kids to see Bad Religion now. And the kids are hella into it, and it actually
yeah.
rules, and it's super wholesome.
Hell yeah.
You see, like, up in the rafters, and like people are like bouncing with their kids to like You and 21st Century. Oh, it's actually a good energy.
It's hella fucking good.
All right.
Okay, we should probably start wrapping this up, otherwise we're just gonna keep talking about Tony Hawk's first until like the game actually comes out. Like, that's how long we'll be talking about it, I feel like.
And beyond that, and then we're gonna have to decide who the best Bob Burnquist is.
We're gonna have to.
We're gonna have the Battle of the Bobs.
Officially, it's an official
Battle of the
Yace
Bobs.
challenge.
Papa Bob.
Now,
Whomst amongst us is Papa Bob?
Papa Bob's day of reckoning has come. Death to false Bobs.
Whoa there. We don't need to kill
Damn,
each other. We can live in peace.
that's our episode title. Death to false Bobs. You got two B's to choose from in there too. They're right next to each other.
Maybe I'll just take two and dual wield like Kirito.
Oh god.
Okay, now we really need to stop.
Starburst Stream!
Oh, thank you so much to everybody for listening. This has been YASEcast episode 8. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. I'm still lame-o in the flesh, in the blood, and all that fun. I was getting gross. It's getting to body horror territory. Morgan, where can the people find you?
People can find me at Twitter at fog_E. You can find me at Twitch at the same. And I've been streaming in Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2 lately. And it's a lot of fun again. There's a lot of emotional content for me in that game. So trying to rediscover it and come back to it has been a journey in itself. And it's been fun to go on that with other people. I'm getting a lot of, more viewers than I ever do. Like, I think I peaked at average 20 and then peaked 25 today. And it was really great because I would play and I'd be really focused and I would look back and my chat was writing erotica. So we support that collaborative spirit in my channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually not today, but maybe last week I actually tried to stream snipe you. But the lobby I went into, it was a rematch lobby, and I was just like, "Oh, she's never gonna see that I'm waiting in line." So I just left and played with other people. I'm like, I don't want to fucking wait. I just want to fucking play people right now. So I ended up leaving and I went somewhere else.
That's the worst feeling, like the surprise rematch lobby where you're waiting, it's been 2 games. Why didn't I get to play? And you're like,
it's like, rematch. Yeah. Yeah. I wish they'd do something in that. Well, I mean, obviously kind of late down, not going to get an update, but it'd be so nice if it was like when you get to that screen where it's like rematch or go back to the lobby. If it was just like, here's the list of the people behind you. That would be really nice. But hey, maybe strive. We'll see. Velius, where can the people find you?
Find me on Twitter at _Velius, on Twitch at VeliusVS, and then my blog, realbattleonfilm.wordpress.com.
Hell yeah. And as for me, Lamo, you can find me on Twitter at Lamo_SD. You can find me on Twitch at Lamo. I might be coming back to streaming a little bit more Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we'll see. And of course, you can find me here in the YASEcast. And that is going to do it for episode 8. Thank you so much for joining. Stay beautiful, stay brave, stay bold, and stay away from Bob Burnquist. He's my fucking skater, and you can't have him.